Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will discuss how to use Fetch API. Let's create one folder. I'm creating one folder with the name of Fetch. In this example, I am using Visual Studio Code. Let's open that folder in this video. Open folder, select desktop, and you can select your folder. Here I am creating one file that is fetch.txt. Fetch API interface allows web browser to make a HTTP request to the web server. To make HTTP request to the web server. Right. Fetch API is a modern and different way to make a network request in a web browser. It is used to make a request and receive the response or retrieve a response from a server. Fetch API interface allows to web browser to make a HTTP request to the web server. Fetch API is a modern and a different way to make a network request in a web server. It is used to request and retrieve a response from the server. It is used to make a request and retrieve a response from the server. What type of response? For example, JSON or XML like that. The fetch function accepts two arguments. How many arguments? Two arguments. This fetch function accepts two arguments. In that one, first one is URL. That is mandatory. Another one is options. That is optional. Options are optional. Fetch function accepts how many arguments? Two arguments. In this two argument, the one argument is a URL, another one is a options. Right. In these options, the first one is method. The first one is a method. In this method, you can mention your HTTP methods. In this method part, you need to mention what? HTTP methods. For example, get, post, delete, put, and so on. These all are the HTTP methods you can mention in a method property. Here, the default method is get method. If you are not mentioning any method, it considered as a get method. Another property, headers. That is a headers. In this header, okay, you can send what type of data you are sending to the server. You can mention that into a header part like JSON data or text data or one more thing. If you want to send any tokens, then you can mention the header also. Another one is properties body. In this body, okay, in this body, you can send form data. Whatever the data you want to send to the server, you can mention in a body. Where we can use a body, in a post method or put method. We can use in a post method or put method. We use the body property. That all is the options available in a fetch second argument. The first argument must should URL. That is the mandatory. That is your mandatory. You need to pass the URL here. Next, options. What are the options? That is the optional. If you want, you can pass it. Like in the method, what type of method you need to mention? Get method, post method, delete method, put method. Default method is get method only. Default method is get method only. In headers, you need to pass what? You need to what type of data you are sending to the server, you can mention those into the header. Body. Body is nothing but it's a body of the request. Okay, where we can use this body, post method or put method, we can use this method. Where we can use the property of a body in a post or put. Let's see the syntax of our fetch. Fetch URL, then your options. This is the syntax of our fetch. First one is URL, that is the mandatory. Options. In the option, you can pass method, headers, or body. Right? The default is a get method. For example, if you are using a fetch, some URL, okay, if you are passing the, is consider default one is a get method. Default method of a fetch is a get method. Getting my point or not? Very good. Let's, before using the fetch, we need some API. Okay. If you want to learn how to create a fake REST API, how to create a fake REST API using JSON, how to create a fake REST API, using JSON server, okay, you can watch my video. I will provide the link in the description. If you want to learn how to create a fake REST API using a JSON server, you can watch my video. I will provide the link in the description. Let's, before working this, you can just go and check my video. You can get a basic knowledge on creating fake REST API using JSON server. Right. Now I just want to create my API. For API, I'm creating a db.json. In this db.json, I'm taking one object. Here I'm giving a employees. No need any knowledge of a coding to work with this fake REST API. Here I am taking a array object. Here I am giving a name, double quote name, colon. Here I am giving a Ayan, comma. Here I am giving email, colon, Ayan @gmail.com. If you want to know everything, you can just go to the description. I will provide the link in the description. You can watch my video. Right. I just create one db. I want to make this db.json as my API. Now you can go to the terminal. Then you can go to the file where your file is available, db.json. Go to that file location. Then you can run JSON-server. If you're not installing, you can install it. You can just go to the video and check all information available in that video. I will provide the link into the description. --watch and db.json. Right. Now you can check that. Now my API is ready. My API is ready. Right? Yes, I want to use that API. Let's go to the file. Now my API is ready. I want to get the data from this API. Now what I'm doing, I'm just taking one file, that is index.html. Index.html. You can create one HTML, that is index.html. I need a basic syntax of our HTML file. Just to type HTML file. Right? Yes. Here, if you want to go to the static data, you can just use any JSON file. If you want to use a web API, then you can use web API. In my example, I will explain both. Very good. Let's see that. Now I'm just go to the syntax of my fetch. Fetch your URL, your URL, whatever the data you are receiving, you need to handle the data, right? Dot then method. It handling a promise. Response. Whatever the response you are getting from the server, I want to convert into the JSON. Response dot JSON. If you're getting a normal JSON, no need to convert. If you want to convert as a JSON, you need to mention response, whatever the data you are getting from the server, dot JSON method. Dot JSON method. Yes, after converting, I want to check. Then you can go to a dot. Then you can receive a data here. If you want to print a data, you can print here. But I am giving a console dot log of data. That is the syntax of our fetch. Fetch URL, then whatever the response coming from the server, I just converted the response into a JSON. Once the response is converted, you should go to the then of a data. Then you can handle the data here. For example, there is no statement. If you are using an arrow function, okay, it's only one statement returning. No need to mention return or no need to mention a curly bracket. For example, you can write like this. Curly brackets, enter, return, you can paste it. Semicolon. You can use like this or you can use without a return curly brackets. If only one statement, no need to use a curly bracket, no need to use return. Simply you can mention it. Whatever the data coming from the server, we are converting into a JSON. After converting, we are sending a data to where? After the then. Whatever the data you are converting here, it come and sit into where? In your data. Then you can print the value. Right. In this example, I will show how to work with the static file, how to work with the API. Working with the static API, I just go to that file. I'm creating one static file like list.json. Enter. I'm taking a value. Like similar name, can take JavaScript, comma, fee, colon. I'm giving some number, comma, duration. You can mention the duration here, 45 days. First example, I'm just taking a static file, that is JSON file. I just created one. Now I just go to the index.html. Just go to the index.html. Now I just want to use a script tag here. If you are using fetch, no need to require any library. By default, all modern browsers support fetch API. No need to install anything, no need to import any library, no need. You can simply use your fetch API in a JavaScript. All modern browsers should be support. Right. Now fetch. Okay, then I need to give the file name here, list.json. Better you can give that dot slash. Very good. After receiving response, I want to handle, right? I want to convert into a JSON. Dot then of response. Whatever the response you are receiving, I want to convert the response into the JSON. Once it converted, I want to send to the promise data. Here I am giving a data. You can mention data console.log. You can do the console.log. log of data. Save it. Just check the syntax. First, you need to pass the file of the, you can pass that one. Then you have to, whatever the data you are receiving, I want to convert the data into a JSON. You need to convert the data into a JSON, whatever the response. Then after that, I am returning to that promise. Here I need to console it. Right. If you are running a file of HTML in a file protocol, okay, make sure, okay, you can run your application in HTTP or HTTPS protocol, not in file protocol, not in file protocol. What is the file protocol? If you go to the file location, go here, reveal in file explorer, you can just go to the, you can go to the file, you can open that file into the browser. If you see this browser, see, you are running your file where? In a file protocol. But if you want to see the output of your fetch, try to use in HTTP or HTTPS protocol. If you want to use your fetch in which mode? HTTP or HTTPS protocols. Right, HTTP and HTTPS. That is the valid. Okay, right. If you want to run your file HTML in HTTP or HTTPS protocol, then you can go to the, you can just go to the Visual Studio Code and go to the extension. You need to install one extension called Live Server. It run your file on which protocol? HTTP protocol. Go to this extension. How to go to the extension? Simply go to this extension icon, click that icon, then type Live Server. You can see this Live Server, click the Live Server and you can install it. Once you can install it, now you can go to the file, which file you want to run in HTTP protocol, right click and you can see the option here. There is a two options, open with a live server, stop live server. Open with the live server. You can click that one. Now your application running on which mode? HTTP protocol. See? And it provides one port number also. Previously, how you are running? In the file protocol. Yes. I want to see the output now. Right click, go to the inspect. We done what here? Console. Where whatever the file data is available, I am displaying in the where? In my console. Now you can go to the browser. You can go to this console. How to see this dev tool? Right click, inspect, and you can go to the console. See here. See object, whatever the data you have entered here, that all data is coming. I just add one more property to this JSON, comma. Now I am giving type colon online. Save it. Now go to the browser, refresh. No need to refresh. If you are using live server, by default it should be refresh. Now you can see the data here, all data. Now I just use what? Only plain HTML. Similar with your web API also. Just close it. This time I am using which one? Make a comment. How to make a comment? You can put / one line. Or if you are using Visual Studio Code, select that line and press Alt Shift A. Whatever the content, if you want to make a comment, how many lines of a code, if you want to make a comment, you can use this one. What? Select and press Alt Shift A. Then just Alt Shift A. Now I want to get a data from this API, which is I created in my local system using JSON server. That is the fake REST API. Fake REST API. Let's go to that fetch. What is the API here? See, that is my API. You can just copy, you can just paste it here. Whatever the data you are receiving a server, you need to convert the data into a JSON. That's why I'm giving then. Why we are using then? This fetch is written promise. We need to handle that promise, then we are using then. Then go to here, response. Here you can use convert your response dot JSON format. Dot, then whatever the data is returning, I need to handle the data. That's why I'm taking here data. Let's go to this console dot log of data. Console dot log of data. If you see this example, fetch making a request to this URL. Once receive a data from this API, we need to handle. That's why I'm using it then to handle the promise. Whatever the data coming from the server, it come and sit into your response object. I'm converting whatever the response coming, I'm converting into a JSON. After converting, I'm handling in this one, right? So in the next. Save it. Now you can go to the browser. See here, whatever the data you are receiving from that API, see, by default ID JSON server create name and ID. Next, go to that JSON file, open that file, you can see the db.json file. Like that, we can get a data from the server using what? Fetch. That is the basic syntax of our fetch. Right. Next, we are using what, how to send a data to the server in a fetch. If you are using by default, it get what? Get method only. Only you are receiving a data from the server. You are not sending a data to the server. Next example, what we are doing? We are sending a data to the we are sending a data to the server. Let's for that okay, that API is okay, that API is http / localhost colon 3000 / employees. This, if you want to add a new record to your database or new file, then JSON file, you can use this API using JSON server. http colon / localhost 3000 / employees. This method should be post method. If you want to add a new record, you can use post method. The URL is this one. Let's see that how we can send a data to the server. Right. Now just go to the file and make a comment. If you are using Visual Studio Code, select that lines, press Alt Shift A at a time. Then the line selection should be commented. Here I am using okay, post method. Did you remember or not? Here, if you want to use a post, you need to mention a post in where? In a method. This method is available, right? Here you can mention your post method. The default is a get. If you are not providing, it considered as a get method only. Let's go to here. Fetch of http colon / localhost colon 3000 / here you can add your API. I'm adding my API employees. This API, which API? Post API, comma. Then here you need to add your options. In this part, first one is what? Method. What type of method? Post method. If you don't have the knowledge on backend developer should inform you can use this API and this is the method. Post method, you need to pass the data like right. In this another property is headers. In this headers we have what? what type of data you are sending to the server. We need to mention. In this header, first part is content hyphen type colon application slash JSON. I'm sending a data in the form of JSON. What type of data you are sending, you need to mention application slash JSON. Content type. Where you need to pass header. What is the another one? Body. You need to send a data now? Yes, body. Right? Yes. Here you can mention name, Rahul, comma, email, colon, rahul@gmail.com. You are sending a object here, but it should accept a JSON data. Then you need to convert this object into a JSON. Then you can mention here JSON.signify. JSON.signify. Right. Okay. How many parts? 3 parts are there in options: method, headers, body. What is the method? Which type of HTTP protocol you are using? Post. Which HTTP method you are using? You have to mention the post. What type of data you are sending? You need to mention in a header. What data you are sending to the server? You need to mention in a body. Right. That is all done. Now I need to handle the response. No? Yes. Dot. Then of response. Here I need to check the status getting. Okay. The server status or server giving a response. I want to check. If not response dot okay. If you are getting any server error, you need to handle that server error. Then you can go to the response dot. There is a property called okay. If you are getting response dot okay true, that means the call is successfully executed. The call is successfully executed. If you are getting response dot okay true, then the call is executed successfully. But here I am using a not. That is, if you are getting any error or false or something in a response dot okay, it become true. Why? Because I am using not here. Right. Now I just go here. I just want to some error, console dot error, server error. If you are getting any error from server side, this statement become true. Why? Because response dot okay is a false. It not executed. False not means true. This statement become true. Then it should display console. Or I want to return the data. Return response.json. Whatever you are returning here, it should go and sit into your then of data. Then of data. Then you can console it. Console.log of data. Right? In this example, we learn how to handle the server errors. For example, your request executed successfully, then it become what? True. If your request is not executed, then it should return false. Now I need to execute error messages. That's why I'm mentioning not response dot okay. If response dot okay become false, not means true, then it should execute this statement. After that, what? If your response dot okay become true, executed successfully statement of a request, what happened? It return a true. True not means false. It should go to this statement. It should go to this statement and return the value of a response.json. Whatever the data coming from the server, we are converting a data into a JSON. Whatever the data you are sending here, you should handle in a then of data. Let's see the execution. Now you can see the db.json. See all the data. Why? By default, whenever you are doing the changes, our our live server it refreshing a page. If you want to stop it, then simply go to the right click. There is an option called stop live server. You should stop. By default, whenever you are doing a changes, automatically it refreshing your browser. What? Live server. Now, okay, now I just change Rahul to Srinivas. Rahul, I'm just changing Rahul to Srinivas. Now go to the db.json. See, now I just go to the right click. There is no Srinivas here. Let's see that there is no Srinivas. Just go here, right click, open with the live server. Open with the live server. See, in the right click, inspect, go to the console. You can see the object here. Whatever the data it's returning, that one. It okay. Our JSON server add automatic by default the ID. By default, you should add the ID. Now you can go and you can check your db.json file. Here your record. Now see, simple. I want to change that. See, 1, 1. Whenever you just press Control S, whenever you save the file, by default, our live server should refresh your page and the data should be inserted in the database or our API. Now you can go to this sheet. Here your Srinivas 1, 1. Getting my point? That much of live server should work here. That is our post method. That is our post method. After completing a post method, we go for what? Put method. We go for a put method. Before going that, right click and you can stop your live server. Now you need to work with that put method. http://localhost:3000/employees/ which record you want to update. You need to mention that record ID here. For example, in this API, I want to change where the ID is 1738. Then you can pass that ID here. And make sure you are doing what? Put method. HTTP put method. Where we can use put method, if you want to update the record, if you want to insert a new record, then you can go to the post method. Let's go to that file. Same example, I make a comment. What is the first one? Select and press Alt Shift A if you are using Visual Studio Code. Here, fetch http://localhost:3000/employees/ which record you want to update. You need to pass the particular ID. Here 1738. That is my ID. Next, I need to add another argument. Yes. Here you have to mention what? Method. This time you are using which method? Put method, comma. Then you have to use a headers. What type of data you are sending, you need to mention here. Content hyphen type colon application slash JSON. You can sending a data. Which type of data? JSON data. If you want to send a text, you can mention a text here. Now I just want to go to another property, body. In this body, I'm just passing name. Okay, name. You can just give any SRK, comma, email colon, srk@gmail.com. That is my method, header, body. Right. Remaining all same dot. Then this fetch return what? Promise. This fetch return what? Promise. To handle the promise, we are using a then here. Right. Then of response, whatever the response you are getting, I want to convert the response into a JSON method. Whatever the data is returning, it should be handling that then of data. I want to console it, console.log of data. You can save it. Now you can just check that one. 1738 record. What is the name? Srinivas1, Srinivas1 at gmail.com for the email. Now I want to update this record with whom? This SRK email, srk at gmail.com. Let's run this file, right click. Make sure if you want to see the good output, you need to use HTTP protocol or HTTPS protocol. It should work perfectly. Fetch. Open with the Lev server. Go to the file. Now you can see this one. If you want to see the output, where I need to see, I just put a console there. Right click, inspect, go to the console. Oh, sorry, it's asking some syntax error. Very good. Here you need to put a comma. Save it. Now you can go to the browser. It is updated. We go to this one, Rahul, and this one. Just to go here, and you can check a method called db.json data. Let's see that where we have. Just to go to this one and put method. You are passing the ID, header, and body. Right. Now you can go to the browser. In this browser, you can check just a refresh. Let's see that what error we are getting here. Internal server error. Let's see our server is running or not. Oh, sorry. It's some issue like Control C. Then you can run your server. Now you can go to the browser. And if you already refresh, you can refresh the page. That is your HTTP internal error. Go to the db.json. Let's close it. And open your db.json. Here your value. Let's see that what error we are getting. It's any informat. Just to go to the index. You can check your format here. Name, email, right. That is good. And you have to pass the SRK and email. Content type application JSON, right. See it giving that object error. Let's see that what error it's expecting, right? Yes. If you check this one, you have to convert this data into a JSON. Remember or not? You want to convert this data in where? In JSON format. If you're sending an object, it definitely gives the error. If you see the previous example, in the previous example, what we done? In the body tag, we convert the data into a JSON. See? JSON signify. You need to convert the data into a JSON. Then you can use JSON.signify of. You can change it. Let's go to convert that value. Right? Yes. Now that format is different. That's why it should be giving an error. Right? Yes. Now you can go to the file, save it. Now you can check the file, see your data is updated. See your data, right? Right. Before sending a data to the server, make sure you are sending a which type data? JSON data. Then only it should be work. I will do one more time. To stop, right click and you can stop live server. Now you can restart your JSON also. Okay, right. Now I just want to change this name to Aman. Here in the place of SRK, I want to update the Aman. I save the file. If you check that one, okay, where the ID is 1738, you can just go to here and you can check your ID. I want to update this record. Yes, simply right click, Then you can open with the live server. Right? Yes. Now it should be updated. Now you can go and you can check your data here. See, aman@gmail.com. It's updated data. It's updated data. Very good. That is our put method. Now I want to work with the delete HTTP delete method. http://localhost:3000/employees of. Then you have to pass the ID. Which record if you want to remove, you can pass that ID here. And that method is delete method. That is a delete method. That is a delete method. Right. The syntax should be simple. How you are using a get, you can use the same syntax for your delete also. But here you have to mention what? Method. The put method is there, na? You have to mention the method here. Which method? Delete method. In the place of put method, you need to pass a delete here. Right. Let's comment, select this one and press Alt Shift A. I want to remove the record where the ID is 1738. Okay. My API is localhost 3000 employees. The ID number you have to pass. In your real time, okay, this APIs are provided by backend developer. They will inform you can use the API for the delete. Right. Now you can just go fetch of http://localhost:3000/employees/ you can pass your ID. Which record if you want to delete, you can pass that ID here, comma. Here you can mention the method. That is delete method. No need to pass remaining. Right? Very good. Dot. Here then, whatever the response getting from the server, you need to handle that response. Okay. Yes. I want to check the error. If your server giving any error, I want to handle that one also. If not, response dot okay. If you're getting any error, this if condition should be execute. Here I am writing a console.log error. If you're not getting any error from server side, okay, what you can return the data like return response.json. Right. Whatever the data is returning, I need to handle the data. That's why I'm using here data console.log of whatever the data you have to print here. If you are getting, okay, before executing this all function, if you are getting any error, for example, this you are getting an error here or you are getting an error, you need to handle the error. Then you can use a catch block. You can use a catch block here. That is the error. The whole process, wherever if you are getting error, immediately this catch should be involved. Console.log of log of error. Fetch. We are passing a URL. Second, as the argument, you can pass a method. Then you need to handle the response. Then you have to handle the response. You can use a dot then. Here you are converting a data into a JSON. And it returning to where? To this data. Whatever the data you are sending here, you should come and sit here. Then you are printing a data. While execution, this all code, if you are getting any error, immediately this catch block should be involved and display your error. Here you can check your server response. If the server execute successfully the request, then it should return true or it return false. Let's see that. Right click, and if you Already right click, go to the open with the live server. Here you can check your file. Here is the file. Right click, go to the inspect. Within the inspect, you can see the console. Here, okay, that is spelling console. Save it. Now you can go to the file, you can check it. That already ID is deleted, that's why it's giving that error. If you go to that one, go to the db.json, there is no ID 1738. Now I just want to remove this ID. Just simply go and just replace with that ID. You can replace that ID. Save it. Now you can go to the browser. Okay, it is already deleted. Right, that is another console is there here. Console. Save it. If you go to the db.json, see, there is no ID which called 955b. See, there is no. I want to delete this record also. You can take that ID, you can pass it here. Whenever if you save the file, what happened? Immediately delete. Why? Because our live server should be refresh your page on the browser. If refresh the page means your code is executed. Now you can just go and press Ctrl S. Your record is deleted. Just go and check it. There is no record with this ID. Like that, we can work with the fetch with the method put, get, and delete. This all method using fetch. If you want to use another, then you have to import a libraries. For a fetch, no need to import any library. All modern browsers should support fetch. If you would like to see a video on file uploading, if you like to see a video on file uploading using the fetch API, let me know in the comment. I will create and upload a video on the topic soon. If you want to see the video on file uploading using fetch API, let me know in the comments. I will create and upload a video on the topic soon. Thank you for watching my video. Like and share, subscribe my channel. Thank you.